incarnational process is pretty much run by artificial intelligence and
The Archons determine who gets to immigrate and who gets to become babies. That's the most important job that they do.
okay.
They're the ones that determine if a high vibration soul gets in or not. There are backdoor ways into Earth, and I came in through a broken rules contract.
Okay.
I used their system of broken rules to be here, beat them at their own game.
Mhm.
Many others have figured out the backdoor way in.
Okay.
And this is where the Archons in the 80s were really trying to take out the indigo and the crystal children. That's why we have autistic children. That's why we have vaccines that are taking children down. It's because there's a big hole that they're getting, and you got to start plugging it up somehow.
Now, where do the Archons reside in terms of
The astral worlds.
In the astral worlds.
They hold a court, and that court determines immigration status. That's essentially all that it does.
Now they're not the natural inheritors of the incarnational process, which is supposed to be organic,
Which is supposed to be the Earth Mother sentience.
right? So
With air cities interacting in the North Pole in her dream time.
okay,
But there are no air cities up there anymore.
in the North Pole.
No. There's just Dreamtime realities that's part of Earth. They've limited Earth's consciousness by forcing low vibration souls in here for so long. While it's been going through denser and denser, Earth has little choice but to allow that to happen. It has to have life on it, has to nurture life, even if it's low vibration. So they knew how a planet would grow and ascend and descend. They knew all of this, and they're using that to their best of advantage.
And how long have the Archons been affecting in the play? If this goes back 52 million years.
Well, 490,000 years ago is essentially when the Galactic Ascension Machine was set up so that they could resolve the 66 prime lines of drama.
Okay.
They came in about 385,000 years ago.
Okay.
And that's after the neutral guys were kicked out. They needed a system of entities that had the God mind but were still in control.
Oh.
That there was a sentient still control of them, and the God mind inside those Archons would never know it. Many of the Archons were just high vibrational beings that were captured in other domination and control planets, taken to technological centers, had their bodies removed, their vibration rapidly raised with energy until they're experiencing the unity consciousness of an artificial intelligence that's telling them they're God. Then they're compacted into a little ball of energy and shot across space, smack into our astral realm, and are force incarnated.
Wow.
They then wake up at 2 years of age and say, I'm a god.
Wow.
And then they go out and become a god, and when they finally lose their physical body, they're brought into the astral world and they say, I'm a god. And then the system of domination and control puts them into the court system that allows them to stamp your immigration.
Wow.
And that's where they insert fine print into your contracts. To get into Earth, there's a line of people waiting, quite literally a line.
Okay.
And there's a council of 52 Archons over there that read your spiritual contracts and get to put fine print in there because they're looking at who you're looking for, your mother, your father, your daughters, who's your first grade teacher, who's your first love, who's your first divorce, who's your 11th divorce, so on.
Right.
And they're putting fine print in there to give you negative habit patterns so you never get into your mind and claim your sovereignty.
Right, so they're giving you patterns like addictions and the whole...
Bad relationships, so on, the whole gamut.
Dysfunctional parents, pedophilia, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Okay. Are they, what's their level of sentience? I mean...
Most of them are in the fifth. I don't like using raw terms because they're not really accurate to our linguistics, not putting the work down. The linguistics that we function with is limited. We just can't explain in terms. But to relate for the other light workers community out there, of the 52 Archons that are overseeing the immigration court, the vast majority are in 4th density, 5th density, or 7th dimensional. They're pretty powerful. But they were forced to that level, and they can't stay there. So after a while, an Archon will literally fade out. It can't be in this reality anymore, and a new one will be brought in to replace it. So they do have a limit, a fuse.
Interesting. And then they're below the 15, obviously.
Correct.
They've been running the show.
They're being
co-opted and manipulated.
They're being hive mind manipulated by them.
Okay.
Because they're the ones that gave them the God sense, the God concept.
Yeah.
But even gods have a conscience.
Huh.
The little whisper in their voice, the whisper in their mind.
Huh. So are they considered I mean, are there good Archons?
No, there are good Archons. There are ones that have switched sides.
Okay.
Many of them were taken out and not allowed into the immigration court, but they're the ones that revealed the back doors. They're the ones that said, I can't do this anymore. My
Wow.
homeworld was freed 1,000,000 years ago and I can't get back to it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So they do. I mean, we have to forgive a lot of them. We really do.
Yeah.
There has to be forgiveness on a pretty grand scale. And then there were those that simply cannot be forgiven.
Like?
The 15 multidimensional
Oh,
beings.
yes, thank you.
And some of their grand servants and their grand creators that they had underneath them. You know, dealing with those people is not going to be easy. When we come to the point where arresting,
Mhm.
is it really going to be arresting in a court system that's considered corrupt? No.
No.
It'll be on a spiritual court. And I call these spiritual courts of equity, where their entire history is read out loud in a neutral perspective for everyone to understand this being has done this. And then everyone that listens said, oh my God, that one guy made sure that there were pedophilia rings for the last 5,000 years.
Right.
He will be taken in the spiritual court of equity and brought to the galactic central sun for recyclement.
Now, is that a place where the second death occurs? In other
Yes.
words, you
Spiritual
are...
recyclement.
Yeah. Okay, so you can be undone.
Correct.
Somebody that's been playing God for all those millions of years can be unmade and put back into source material.
Correct.
And that is the second death, and that's what they probably...
Fear.
Yes, that could happen.
And that fear is what's turning some of these Archon beings not fully dark, where they're starting to touch what I call the warrior of twilight status,
Huh.
where they're good but still evil. And they're playing both sides,
Yeah.
and their whole purpose of playing both sides is they know the light is deep into polarity and the dark is deep into polarity,
Yeah.
and if they keep playing them, more and more of them will get turned into walk-ins.
Is that something that they want to have?
Yeah, because they want off.
They
this
want
world.
out.
They want out.
Right?
They want
They're
out.
probably bored with the whole thing too.
Well, more than just bored, stuck.
Stuck, yes.
Stuck.
Where everyone is stuck.
Stuck.
Everyone is literally stuck.
Stuck.
Yeah.
No graduating classes.
Yeah.